Okay, so we are told that there are 20 biscuits in a tin. Caroline is going to take 2 of the biscuits, and we need to work out the probability that they are not the same type. So the first biscuit could be a plain biscuit, could be a chocolate biscuit, or could be a ginger biscuit. The probability of it being plain is 12 out of 20, because there are 12 plain biscuits to begin with. Chocolate will be 5 out of 20, and ginger will be 3 out of 20. I think you got that to begin with. So that's for the first biscuit. I am now going to draw out the next part of the tree diagram. These here are if they took a plain the first time. So we could take a plain the first time and a plain the second time. Or we could take a chocolate the second time. Or we could take a ginger the second time. Now, all of these are if we took a plain the first time. So, if I took a plain the first time, that would mean that there are 11 plain biscuits left, out of 19 biscuits in total. So there is an 11 out of 19 chance that I would take a plain biscuit the second time if I took a plain biscuit the first time. The probability of the second biscuit being chocolate would be 5 out of 19 because there are still 5 chocolate biscuits left. I haven't touched the chocolate, so there's still 5 left. And ginger would be 3 out of 19 because again, there were 3 ginger biscuits to begin with, and I only took a plain one. So I've not touched the ginger biscuit. So there's 3 chances of me taking one out of 19 in total. So those are all the probabilities of the second biscuits if I took a plain out the first time. It could be that I took a chocolate out the first time, in which case I could still take a plain, a chocolate or a ginger the second time, but the probabilities would be different. Because if I took a chocolate out the first time, there would still be 12 plain biscuits left. Because remember, there were 12 plain biscuits altogether. And what I am now considering is what would happen if I took a chocolate biscuit the first time. So there would still be 12 plain biscuits left, out of 19. Because there were 20 biscuits and I took a chocolate one out, so there's 19 left. The probability of it being the second biscuit being chocolate would be 4 out of 19. Because there were 5 chocolate biscuits, but I took one of them out. And ginger would be 3 out of 19. Because there were 3 ginger biscuits to begin with. I took a chocolate one out, so there's still going to be 3 ginger biscuits left. So those are the probabilities of the second biscuit being plain, chocolate, ginger, if I took a chocolate out the first time. Finally, I need to consider what would happen if I took a ginger biscuit the first time. So again, it could be plain, chocolate or ginger, the second biscuit. The chances of the second biscuit being plain, if the first biscuit was ginger, would be 12 out of 19. Because there were 12 plain biscuits to begin with, I took a ginger one out, so there's still 12 plain biscuits left. 19 biscuits in total, so 12 out of 19. The probability of the second biscuit being chocolate if I took a ginger out the first time would be 5 out of 19. And the probability of the second biscuit being ginger if I took a ginger out the first time would be 2 out of 19 because there were 3 ginger biscuits, but I took one out, so there's 2 ginger biscuits left. So, after all of that, our tree diagram is complete. I now want to work out the probabilities that the 2 biscuits were not the same type. So, not the same. So that could be a plain biscuit and a chocolate biscuit, a plain biscuit and a ginger biscuit, a chocolate biscuit and a plain biscuit, a chocolate biscuit and a ginger biscuit, a ginger and a plain, or a ginger and a chocolate. Now that's quite a lot of stuff for me to work out, So instead of doing all of that, what I could do is I could work out the probability of a plane and a plane. I could work out the probability that they were the same and then take that away from 1. So the probability that they were both plane would be 12 out of 20 times 11 out of 19, which is 132 out of 380. The probability of them both being chocolate would be 5 out of 20 times 4 out of 19, which is 20 out of 380. And them both being ginger, 3 out of 20 times 2 out of 19 is 6 out of 380. If I add those three numbers together, those three probabilities together, I get 158 out of 380. So this is the overall probability of me taking 2 biscuits that were the same, because that's the sum of plain and plain, chocolate and chocolate, ginger and ginger. So this is the overall probability that I take 3 biscuits that are the same. Remember, I wanted the ones that were not the same. So I'll do 1, take away 158 out of 380, which gives 222 out of 380. And that is the probability that the biscuits will not be the same.